A muddy, exhausted man has been escorted into the French camp. According to his story, they were transporting goods necessary to the war effort when their wagon became stuck. They set up camp, and as they worked to free it, he says they were attacked by something feral and not of this world. He described it as a devil dog. He claimed it killed most of his party and only 2 of them remained. He went east while his partner went west to find help. Captain LeBlanc readies his warband and tasks them with retaking the goods and killing whatever appears.
Alright, welcome back to the Silver Bayonet, Episode 2, presented by Miniature Game Montage. Captain LeBlanc's warband has departed west for the Traveler's Camp. The French team remains unchanged. It includes an artillerist, a grenadier, a guard, light cavalryman, an occultist, a sapper, and a vivandier. The location in question has clue markers that need to be explored as the cargo has been strewn across the area. The group is specifically looking for the shipment manifest. This will prove or disprove what the man is stating. As the man takes them to the wagon, he turns to them and begins to laugh with a sinister grin. He then disappears, as howls can be heard echoing through the trees.
It is coming from all directions. Take what you can and let's get out of here.
And Captain LeBlanc and his men and women find themselves among corpses and hellhounds in every direction. As something foul is in the air, the shipment's manifest is still important, as it will let them know what the cargo was doing moving from place to place. The clues may also help them piece together what is happening in this area. The grenadier starts off with a move. He then aims his musket at one of the hellhounds and opens fire. His musket lands a powerful hit, rolling a 10 on the red power die, which takes down the hellhound. With a masterful shot from the grenadier, we go over to the sapper, where he elects to move forward, and then he will aim his musket at another hellhound through the trees. His shot unfortunately goes astray, needing a 12. Up next, the light cavalry is going to move through the muck, aim his pistol at another devil dog, and open fire, but misses. The French artillerist elects to move forward and decides to investigate a clue, finding a silver knife.
To the vector be the spoilers, no?
The hellhounds then begin their moves as one looks to charge into contact with the artillerist. With jaws snapping, the hound misses. The artillerist attempts to strike him back, but misses as well. The artillerist then becomes fatigued from the combat as another hellhound comes up behind them. Across the board, hellhounds continue to move as the circle encloses around the French fighters. As we go back to the French for the remaining activation, the guard is going to aim his musket at one of the hellhounds and open fire, but misses. He then elects to reload. Captain LeBlanc activates next, and he wants to lead his men from the front. He draws his sword and moves into contact with one of the hellhounds.
Follow my lead, mes amis.
He slices the hellhound with a masterful strike, rolling a 20 and taking the devil dog out of action. His party is encouraged by this as they see their leader risk his own life to save theirs. The occultist and the vivandier are going to hold tight. The occultist is moving to the wagon. The vivandier is going to pass on this turn. And as the turn draws to a close, something can be heard approaching the road to the west. The sun has draped, the moon is full, and the occultist has a peculiar feeling as she warns her group that something is near.
'Tis a bad omen.
And from the mist that seemed eerily similar to the merchant, a werewolf has appeared. Captain LeBlanc tells his men to pull silver and light torches as the artillerist attempts to fire with his pistol but misses. He then moves to combat. And with a devastating swing, the dog is dispatched. From the wagon, the occultist can clearly see the werewolf and attempts to cast a curse, but she fails. Light cavalry attempts to fire his pistol at the approaching hellhound, which misses. He then charges into combat, landing a strike. The blow is powerful enough to take the hellhound down. We move over to the sapper, who reloads his musket and attempts to fire at the incoming hellhound. He lands an 18, and an 8 on the power dice is just enough to take the hellhound down. The hellhounds react, one moving into the pool, which we're treating as difficult ground. He cannot make it to the light cavalryman. One of the devil dogs is going to force combat with the sapper, however, as he lunges into combat. Jaws clench on the sapper, causing 9 damage, and he has 1 wound remaining. The sapper swings back, killing the dog, but he has to contend with another hellhound that is moving to attack him. The creature snarls as he moves to combat. Claws and teeth take down the sapper. The sapper's screams can be heard across the camp, and the werewolf feeds on it as it charges into contact with the artillerist. Swinging his claws, the artillerist is able to make it away unscathed. The artillerist is terrified by what he sees in front of him, and instead of striking back with his silver weapon, he elects to flee. On the other side of the board, the grenadier has reloaded his musket, elects to fire at the hellhound, and lands a hit which is powerful enough to kill the creature. Back at the center, the vivandière is going to move and then use a sprint to force combat on the hellhound. She lands a masterful strike, destroying the creature. And as the creature disintegrates, the French guard is going to move forward from his position, attempt to charge into the wolf as he carries a silver weapon, but he does not make it. The creature stands tall and howls. Captain LeBlanc aims his pistol and fires, but misses. Captain LeBlanc draws his silver sword and moves to combat. The werewolf is allergic to silver. He strikes the creature, doing 8 damage. With 4 wounds remaining, the creature attempts to strike back with his claws but misses. And as the turn concludes, the French have taken care of the hellhounds, but they have lost the sapper in the process. Now their attention turns to the werewolf approaching from the west. And just as the eastern road was declared safe, another hellhound approaches. Captain LeBlanc activates first as he goes to dispatch the werewolf. He successfully hits with a 9 on the skill dice, and the werewolf turns back into the merchant and falls to the ground. The merchant laughs and lets them know that they aren't out of the woods yet as he fades away. The grenadier moves and investigates another clue, and as he does, another werewolf jumps from the woods. The other traveler has made himself known. As the French are still looking for the manifest, the artillerist moves to a clue marker and searches it. In it, he finds an ornate silver rod that allows them to add a skill dice to their fate pool. The vivandière then moves forward towards another clue marker. On the other side of the field, the werewolf attempts to strike, but narrowly misses the grenadier. The grenadier attempts to strike him back, but misses as well, becoming fatigued. A hellhound then moves down the road towards the grenadier. The French guard activates, successfully passes a sprint as he moves to the next clue marker. Hearing the werewolf, the light cavalry is going to move and elects to light his torch. The occultist begins to move as well, passing a sprint. The turn concludes with the other traveler appearing on the board as another werewolf. The French still desperately searching for the missing orders, and they have to go back towards the east if they want to find them. As the next turn opens, the French guard is going to move to a clue marker to the north and investigate. He finds the manifest. He shouts back to the captain that he has the missing manifest. The vivandière hears this and starts to make her way to the table edge. The occultists will do the same as they look to get off the board alive. The French artillerist will slip into the woods as well. The werewolf isn't done, however, as he lunges to attack the French grenadier. He does 9 damage, almost killing him. The French guard attempts to flee, but a hellhound is coming up from behind the wolf and charges to attack. Luckily, the grenadier was able to escape unscathed as he attempts to strike back. He does land a hit, but going to re-roll the power die here to see if he can take him down, and he gets the same result, only causing 3 wounds. Captain LeBlanc yells across the battlefield for his men to escape as he makes his way down the road. The light cavalry is going to change direction, heading for the board edge. And as the turn concludes, the French have found the missing orders and are now trying to get off the battlefield. Everyone seems to be in a good position except for the French grenadier. Seemingly abandoned, it will be up to him alone to decide his fate. In the French turn, the vivandière wishes him the best of luck as she slips into the woods. Alongside her, the light cavalryman slips into the woods as well. The French guard with the missing manifest slips into the night as well. As the grenadier activates, he attempts to move and then sprint. The werewolf has his scent, however, and moves to attack. The werewolf lunges at the French grenadier but misses. The hellhound then begins to close the gap as well as it slips through the woods. And at the start of the next turn, the wounded grenadier is able to move and then successfully sprint to get off the board alive. And as the sun begins to rise, the werewolf and the hellhounds all disappear. And that wraps up this presentation of the Silver Bayonet. Outside of experience, the French warband are going to make it away with their lives. The sapper is going to face a slow recovery, so he'll be at -3 health in the next game, but for the next campaign game, we will see how the British are faring. I hope you enjoyed the game. Please leave us a like if you enjoyed it. Supporters Club, your names are on the screen now. That's by no means necessary. If you've watched the video this far, you've done more than enough to support the channel, so thank you so much. We will see you in the next one. Take care.